And we are live. Good to see everybody. It is now Saturday, July 29th, 2023. It is 10:32 a.m. Pacific time here in Las Vegas. How's everybody doing? It is boiling hot here in Las Vegas. I think I don't know, every day it seems like it's 115 degrees Fahrenheit. So it has been very, very hot, but we're trying to stay cool here. We got this from Lenovo. You can see it here, the ThinkPad X1 Nano Gen 3. We've been highly anticipating this one. Ultra portable. There is a lot to like about this, of course. So we're going to get it out of the box today. We're going to see how it compares to other ultra portables. We did the Dell Latitude 73, we did the 7440 Ultralight. We did the X1 Carbon Gen 11, its bigger brother. So there are a lot of things that we're going to compare it to in the upcoming review, but we're going to get it out of the box. We're going to see what this brings to the table. It starts at 1 kilogram or 2.2 pounds. We'll see, or something to that effect. We'll definitely get that measurement. Again, I always get confused with what they're claiming against what the actual weight is. We're going to get an actual measurement, of course, and we're going to see how this is all going to play out. Now, let's say hello to a few people. It's been a while since I live streamed. I think about 10 days or so. Good to see Guillerme from France. How are you, my friend? It's good to see Half Stream here, a good friend and buddy. All right, excited for this one. Hopefully the battery life will be improved with this 13th gen processor. It's a P-series processor, so that should be interesting once again. Why they didn't go with the U-series, I don't know. We're going to see. Maybe a little bit more power out of that 28-watt CPU. And then, according to Drishal, if possible, can you please do a comparison with the ThinkPad T14 Gen 4 AMD? So hopefully we'll be getting that one in as well. Literally on the Lenovo website, trying to pick a laptop, and this comes up. Well, it's always perfect timing here. Good to see Sapreet. Keolan, greetings from Sofia, Bulgaria. Good to see you. Good to see you, Supreet from India. 115 degrees is 46.11 Celsius. Yes, it is hot. And good to see our good friend, Mr. Rainbow Loves Coffee. Hello to you, my friend. Hopefully you can see me and hear me okay. I got a different angle here, maybe just trying to shake things up, but give you a little bit of a different perspective. But we have 52 of you watching. Looks like there's a lot of interest here. Good to see Ghost, man. Thank you. I appreciate that. Okay, so let's bring the specs onto the stream here. What we're going to get here, again, these are just general specs, so let's bring them on right now. As you can see here, this is a Core i7. Now, let me pause this for a moment. On this panel here. All right, 13.3-inch 2K display, 2160 by 1350. It's an IPS display. Believe they sent the touchscreen, so we'll find out when we get it out of the box. Peak brightness of 450 nits. Core i7, 1360p. So P series versus U. Again, remember, they send the X1 Carbon Gen 11 with the U series, although it is offered in a P series as well. 16 gigabytes of RAM, soldered. I believe you can go up to 32. I remember last year, I hope we can. We'll double check on the website. This one should have 16, but the one they sent over, and I have it here, the Gen 2, had 32 gigabytes of RAM. So that's pretty interesting. It also had the 1280p processor. So that was interesting. 49.6 watt hour battery, supports rapid charge, Wi-Fi 6E, Bluetooth. Let's see which one. I don't know which one they did. Yeah, 5.1 according to their specs. And you're looking at wireless WAN option here. Now, 4G LTE, but I don't know if they're going to do 5G. I'm not sure. I'll have to double check my spec sheet that they sent over. And then, of course, we have a starting price of $1,216, but this is not the price as configured here. The price as configured here is $1,572. And you can see here the size. Of course, starting weight, we're looking at less than a kilogram, actually, than what we were talking about earlier. Touchscreen is about 991.5 grams or 2.18 pounds. The non-touch, a little bit less than that. So pretty interesting. Full HD plus IR camera or the optional computer vision. And then, of course, we got Dolby Atmos, quad speakers. Those are always great. And let's see what else I think this has. Magnesium carbon fiber. 2 Thunderbolt 4. I think this does have quad speakers. I'll double check, of course. And then 2 Thunderbolt 4 ports. No USB-A. That's a little bit different. No HDMI. Again, those are things or ports you'll get on the X1 Carbon Gen 11. All right. You do get a headphone jack. That's good. All right. Those are the specs, and that's the pricing. So that's pretty nice stuff here. All right. So you know the drill, folks. Let's get this out of the box. Okay, let's see which power charger they give us. Okay, so this is your power cord right here. Okay. And then, of course, a pretty compact, let's see, this should be 65 watts. It is a 65 watt USB Type-C adapter. So pretty nice. Again, not too heavy. We'll get a measurement of the total travel weight in a moment. You get some documentation here. Okay, and you get ThinkPad X1 Nano Gen 3, some warranty, safety information, yada, yada, yada. Okay. And then, of course, the unit itself. Okay. On there pretty tight. Okay, wow, she's a beauty, that's for sure. There's that that black color we know from the ThinkPad line, and it says here carbon fiber magnesium. So you can see it there. Carbon fiber magnesium. And Very thin and light. We're going to get a measurement of this, of course. And there you can see the side angle with the ports. You can see the headphone jack. Your two Thunderbolt 4 ports are right there. And then there's your power button. That's it, folks. This is going to be a little bit different than the X1 Carbon. All right, let's see if we can open this with one finger. We certainly can. Okay, there you can see it there. And this is what the back of the unit looks like. The front cover, rather, I should say. And there is this really thin and light. Good to see William here. All right, let's get a measurement. Okay. So let's turn on our scale. Okay, so we're going to start off with just the unit alone. 972 grams, or 0.971 kilograms. And for those wondering, that in the pounds, 2 pounds, 2.3 ounces. So 972 grams. And then, okay, so let's put the power adapter and the power cord. 1.245 kilograms. 2 pounds, 11.9 ounces total travel weight. Okay, pretty nice, thin, and light. That's the way we like it here. You know that. All right, so that's the measurement of the, I have my Lenovo mug here. That's the measurement of the ThinkPad X1 Nano. All right, as far as the weight is concerned. All right, so let's look at this keyboard. This is one of my favorite parts of this ultra portable. Again, this is maybe a very good, well, not maybe, it is a very good travel laptop that we'd like to see here, of course. And let's get a listen to the keyboard. Love it, love it, love it. Okay. Yeah, I'm a big fan of these keyboards. Now, they are water-resistant keyboards, so not waterproof, water-resistant. So if you spill some coffee like I have here in my Lenovo mug, you might have a chance of it surviving. And then, of course, you have your track point there. You have a touchpad here. Now, one of the things with such an ultra-portable, this is going to be a little bit more compact than, say, the X1 Carbon Gen 11. Let me bring that one out. So this is the X1 Carbon Gen 11, right? So you can see the size difference here. And we can stack them up one by one here. So this is the difference in size for those wondering. You can see the X1 Carbon is bigger, it's wider, it's taller, and it has a bigger display, obviously. And then this is what it looks like when you compare the thickness. So a little bit more portable on the Nano than the X1 Carbon. And then what the Carbon brings, of course, is the extra ports you don't get on the Nano. So you get the HDMI, you get the full-size USB-A port, the two Thunderbolt 4 ports, and then on the other side, as I showed you in my review and videos, you got the Kensington lock, you get the second USB-A port, and then you get your headphone adapter right there. So this is one of my favorites, obviously, from the ThinkPad line. One of my all-time favorites, you know that. And then, of course, this is, we haven't turned this one on. But here's a comparison of the keyboards as far as scale is concerned. You can see it here. Okay, and you can see here the bigger or more spacious keyboard, I should say, a little bit bigger touchpad as well. And again, it makes sense, 13.3 inches versus a 14-inch. So again, it's just a matter of portability. And of course, if you're traveling and you want to have that mobile broadband, that's certainly an option here. Same on the X1 Carbon. And again, this is going to compete with something like the Dell Latitude 7440 Ultralight. I think the HP Dragonfly would compete with both of these in some extent. Again, I think you get more ports, obviously, on the Dragonfly, and I just reviewed that one, the G4. Very good, by the way. All right, let's turn this on. We're going to get back to the comparison in a little bit. And just for kicks here, let's bring out the Gen 2, and let's see if it's changed physically in any way. So this is the Gen 2. This is the new one. Okay, so let's get these lined up here. Why am I doing that like that? Let's do it like this. Okay, so I think this is Gen 2. Yeah, so this is Gen 2. So they look physically the same, right? Height-wise, width-wise, physically the same. And then you can see here, this is exactly the same ports. That's the back. And then that is the side view. This one's still on. I was doing some benchmarks earlier. It's in sleep mode. But that's the case. And again, I have to see on the bottom which one is which. It'll say it here. So this is the Gen 3. This is the new one. This is the last year's model. Great for traveling, has been a true champ. Okay, but we want to see this one. So physically, I don't see much of a difference yet. We're going to see. All right, so we can open that up. Let's see if this has any juice. Let's turn it on. Yep. Let's also plug this in. So the two ports here, again, Thunderbolt 4. On a plane, do you think the Nano is small enough to use on a seat tray? Yeah, that's one of the benefits of going with such a thin and light, extremely portable device. And again, same thing I saw with the 7440 Ultralight, which I just reviewed from Dell. That was very good. And from the Latitude line, this will compete along those lines, right? But again, put it on the seat tray. You'll be able to do some work on the airplane. It's not going to take up a lot of space in your bag. It's not going to weigh you down. Those are the benefits, of course. And this is the touchscreen. So last year, we didn't have the touchscreen. Now we have it. And for those wondering, let's go to the display settings here real quick. And I wanted to see, it's the same resolution, but with the touch here. So the same resolution. And that, of course, would be 2160 by 1350. And yes, that is a 16:10 aspect ratio. Okay, and you can see what I'm doing right here. Okay, so let me connect it to my network. But before we do that, let me check out the system specs here, the one they sent over here, now that we have it out of the box. So we have the Core i7 1360p. That's a 28-watt CPU. We know that has 12 cores, 8 efficient cores for performance, and 16 gigabytes of RAM. Now, last year they sent over 32, and I hope that will be the case as far as what you can max it out. Again, RAM is going to be soldered in like pretty much all ultra portables nowadays, right? So you can't upgrade that. You should be able to upgrade the SSD as we could last year. All right, so 16 gigabytes of RAM. And this does not have the broadband, but it is an option. So you would have a Nano slot, of course, for that SIM tray. All right, let me go right here. This is the side angle. So what do we want to do? Let's connect it to the network. So I'm going to put it on me. We'll use this angle for now. And starting to get a little bit warm in here. I'm going to lower the AC in a moment. And let me connect to my network. Keyboard feels good. As you know, I'm a big fan of these keyboards. Now, some people say, is it not the same as the X1 Carbon? Yeah, of course. The X1 Carbon is a fuller size keyboard in a sense. It's a bigger device, should have more space for the keyboard, right? So it just makes sense. So far, the touchpad's working well. The track point's working well. You can see it here. It's looking good. All right, let me load in. Now that we're connected to the network, let me load in. Let me get this all set up and get Geekbench. We'll do a Geekbench benchmark here. I don't want to sign in. Let me sign in without my data. Continue without this. Okay, confirm and start browsing. Okay, how's everybody doing? I'm glad to see everybody. It's been a while. All right, let's... geekbench.com. All right. Get a sip of my coffee from my Lenovo mug. It's a ThinkPad day here on the channel. I also got the ThinkPad, not the ThinkPad, the Lenovo Yoga Pro 9i, the 14.5-inch version with that discrete GPU. That came in as well. That should be coming this next couple of days. So I'll have something for you. That just came in. Okay. And so I'm downloading that. You can see what I'm doing here. And I'll put myself down there. All right. So let's take some of your questions. I'm curious to see how badly this throttles, though. We're going to find out. I'm going to do my my testing, of course, in the full review. We're going to do some initial benchmarks. We'll even do a modified Cinebench R23, I should say, test today, just to get an idea. Not the full throttling test. That will be for the full review. But we're going to see how this thermal throttles under load. So if you're doing heavy intensive tasks, and again, who is this geared towards, right? This is geared towards a business user, a business executive on the go, needs to get work done on the road, productivity suites, you're going to do Word, Office documents, spreadsheets, and the like, and you want something extremely portable. Throw in your carry-on, or you're just go on an airplane, and you're going to be able to do work on this. And hopefully the battery life will be really good on this, because that's one of the things. What's the point of having a thin and light if you don't have great battery life? And hopefully we do have great battery life here. All right, let's run the test. But before we do that, let's make sure we put the power settings on best performance. It's already on best performance. I hear the fan or fans. I don't remember if it has two fans. We'll find out. Let me go into the Lenovo or the ThinkVantage app here. I don't think we can change the power. I think they let the Windows do that, but let's just double check here. Power settings, and let's go to the smart settings. So yeah, it's got intelligent cooling on. So let's just leave it on that for now. And then let's run the CPU benchmark. So this is Geekbench 6.01 or whatever it is, like 6.1, whatever. It's a more stable test. It takes a little bit longer than the initial 6.0 test, which was very, very unstable and buggy. All right, Raphael, good to see you, my friend. How are you? Would you review the Dell Inspiron 16 Plus 2-in-1 7630 with the MX 550 GPU? If Dell sends it, I will do it. Now, I know that Dell is going to be sending within the next week or so the Dell Inspiron 7630. That's the one with I think the 2.5K display. I believe that's coming. So that should be pretty good. I did look at it a little bit, and it looks pretty nice. I didn't get it yet, so that's going to be coming. Christine, good to see you. How are you? I have the 2021 Nano. It's so light, but a great display, sound, and battery. Mine has the 11th gen. Yeah, the U series. So this is the P series, right? P series is going to be a more productivity, I should say. But again, throttling will be concerned in such a thin and light chassis, of course. We're going to see how that's all going to play out. We have 51 of you. We have 27 likes. Do me a favor. Please hit that like button. Let's get this spread out over YouTube. Yeah, I'm trying to stay cool, William. This is a quad view. Yeah, so this would be the quad view, my friend. I'm trying different angles here. You can get sort of different views of the device. And then, of course, I added this one. So this is another angle. This is my Sony A7 IV. It's a nice camera with a Sigma lens on it. It's pretty nice. And then this one is the Sony FX30. This is a new one that I have. I'm still playing with it a little bit. And then, of course, this is my Blackmagic Pocket Cinema Pro camera, the 6K Pro. Very, very pro level, obviously, I think at least. I'm switching all this with the A10 Mini Extreme. So you could sort of see it, I guess, in one of these angles. You could see it. No, you can't see it on there, but it's here. For those wondering. All right, but that's the cameras. So that's a little digression here as we are waiting for the results for the Geekbench test. And that would, of course, tell us the single and multi-core score. Of course, that is just one synthetic test. But of course, we are going to look at the Cinebench R23. I'm hoping the camera is going to be great, expecting good things. I don't know if this one has the computer vision. Now, this display, by the way, and let me turn this around here. You can see here, this display is very nice. You can see it here. I don't want to pull it too much because of the cord here, but you can see it here. This is a very nice display. It is I guess like a 2K display or 2.5K. Again, 2160 by 1350, I believe. And it is a very nice display. Now, of course, this will show some fingerprints. That's been the MO on the carbon fiber blend here. What do we have? Carbon fiber, magnesium. So a little bit more reinforced than just, say, magnesium alone. That's been pretty good. No problem, my friend. Side question from Halfstream. Can you ask Lenovo about the X1 Fold Gen 2? You were reading my mind, my friend. It was supposed to release in November 2022 and has been delayed with no word going forward. I think that will be a Nano alternative. Yeah, so I'm like you, Halfstream, I'm anticipating getting it hopefully this year. Again, it was supposed to come out. I was told back in November that it was delayed and that it was going to come out early 2023. Again, we're now halfway through 2023, so I don't know. when they're ready, they're ready. Of course, obviously, they're going to try to get it right out of the box. I have the first gen here. It is very much a first gen product, very much a beta feeling product, although I see the potential there. Very good, yeah. So hopefully we'll see. And we got PPK DP from London. All right, my friend. Hope everything's good over there. And what about the XPS 13 without a plus this year? Will not be. So far, I haven't heard anything on the plus, non-plus, the standard XPS 13. I don't have any information on that. I do have the XPS 13 Plus here. I'll have my full review few months on. I like to do these long-term reviews, obviously, and I'm liking it a lot. So we're going to get that coming very soon. As far as the standard, I don't know if they're going to be updating it this year. I don't know if that was just, till something else comes along. I don't know, but we'll see. All right, we got our result here, and it's a good one. So we got a very good single core score of 2294 and a multi-core score of 10,434. Not bad for a very thin and light chassis here, right? So pretty good. Let me take my screenshot, all right? That's good. So good score there. That's a promising start. It has XE graphics. Let's just do the OpenCL test, I should say, to test those integrated graphics. Of course, I've always said this, and I've been saying it for the last year or so. The Iris XE graphics are, a bit long in the tooth. We're in a need of a refresh here, hopefully later this year, early next year. I don't know what Intel has up. I don't talk to them, so I don't know. But hopefully they will upgrade these graphics, the internal solution. I think the Radeon graphics have passed them. I think, obviously, Apple's graphics solution with their M1 chip is better in some ways. Obviously, no, in a lot of ways. But, of course, there's nothing like a discrete GPU that will beat them all. I've showed you the numbers, of course, so we'll see. All right, let's keep going here. Do you review gaming laptops? Oh, do I have gaming laptops, my friend? Yes, I do. I have the Alienware X16 coming. I got the Lenovo Legion 5 Pro. I've got a bunch of Asus gaming stuff, some really good stuff with the latest AMD processor. So I've got a backlog of devices that I'm going to pull through the next week or two. So you're going to see a lot of gaming stuff. You're going to see a lot of consumer stuff, as I have the Yoga Pro 9i, the smaller version. We already did the 16. We now have the 14.5 inch. That's coming. So a lot to see here on this channel, so make sure you are subscribed. We only have 39 likes. We have 47 of you watching. I don't understand this. I wonder how does the 1360p compare to the 7840U. I don't have the 7840 on hand here right now, so that would be a nice comparison, but we'll see. 1360p we know has the 12 cores, 8 efficient cores for performance. Good to see One Bad Van. Hope you're doing well, my friend. Nice to see you. And here we go. I assume everything runs fine. This is my 20th year ThinkPad experience running only Linux. Wow. All right. These are pretty typical scores here for a Iris Xe graphics. So I just took my screenshot. Let's close that. So let's load in a couple of other benchmarks here real quick. And let me go to my drive here. Okay, so we're going to do these three here. And let me load that. Hold on. Hold on. Okay, I got to get used to this touchpad, I guess. These are the ones I want. Okay, let's put these in the download folder. There we go. Good to see everybody. So getting a little bit warm in here. I'm going to have to turn this down a little bit. Let me turn down the AC. So you went on a long camping trip. I just got a nice, speaking of camping, I got a nice Leatherman multi-tool that I've been really loving. Maybe I don't know if you guys are interested in that. Camping, certainly it comes in handy there. I got a Leatherman. I forgot which one it was. It's the nice one. It's like it was pretty pricey, but it's pretty nice. It has all the different, the tools and everything. So there you go. All right, I just lowered the AC. It is hot here in Las Vegas, people. What laptop do you recommend for under $1,000? Ooh, that's a tough one. It just depends. We saw a couple of them. I like the Asus ZenBook 14X OLED. And right now, by the way, it was originally $999, remember, and I thought it was a steal at that price with its gorgeous OLED display, 14.5-inch, 2.8K OLED. That was down to $699 over at Best Buy. Go to my review of the Asus ZenBook 14X OLED, and you're going to see what I'm talking about. And by the way, I noticed a lot of sales of those in terms of like, those are really moving, so you don't want them to sell out. Check it out. I'll probably put a link when we're done, or just go over to my channel to the Asus ZenBook 14X OLED. A steal, a literal steal at $699. Thanks for your feedback. I'd like to use it with Linux when I get my first X1 laptop. Yeah, these are great for Linux, right? I know I've been talking about doing Linux on here. Maybe that's a segment I want to put into my video. My videos are so long as it is, but it's definitely something I've been wanting to do, seeing how I can incorporate a Linux distro on here. All right, let's extract the Cinebench. We could do a modified 5-minute test here of the Cinebench R23. We could test the SSD, we'll test the camera, and then we'll say, I look like a gambler, says Joker's Wild. Okay. I'm not a gambler in the sense of going to the casinos here in Las Vegas, but I gamble. Yeah, sometimes you have to take chances in life, but I like to play it smart, in a smart manner. But yeah, thank you, I think. All right. And we got our first super chat from Mr. Rainbow Loves Coffee. Oh, that is great. Thank you for all your help. I much appreciate it. Much appreciated, Mr. Rainbow. Thank you for that super chat. I do appreciate it. David W. is a big fan. Thank you. I appreciate that as well. So you're asking, well, I wonder how durable the battery will be, and Dragonfly G4 broke the bank. So the G4 did very well, right? 15 hours plus on the PC Mark 10 Modern Office battery test. I'm going to run this same test on the Gen 3 and this Gen 4 for the upcoming review. So we'll have some numbers to compare, to bounce off of, so we can see that. Yeah. All right. Yeah, we just saw that. All right. So thank you, Mr. Rainbow Loves Coffee. Absolutely appreciate it as always. Okay. So let's bring it back over here. And let's load in the Cinebench. And I want to see how the thermals will do. We'll bring out our camera right now. And we're going to do the measurement of the noise level of the fans, right? We always do that. We put that in the review as well. All right. So let me now start this. So we're in the performance mode. Let me modify this test. So let's go to preferences. Let's go to 5 minutes. Okay. And then we're going to go to advanced benchmark. There we go. Let's choose the 5-minute test and let's start that, and I'll get the camera ready. All right. So while that's running, we got another super chat from our good moderator and friend, Rafael Perez. I appreciate Andrew. Thank you. You too appreciate me. Thank you. I do appreciate you and all your help as a moderator. And that, of course, goes without saying. Now, here is my camera. All right. So we can see it here. And let me load this in onto my Pixel Fold, which I've been really liking, by the way. And here is the Pixel Fold for those that didn't see it, and you can see it here. This has been great. I'm going to do a full review on my mobile channel. You can see the crease there, but here you can see it unfolded. But I'll be honest with you, 80% of the time I've been using this very usable front screen, which I've been really liking. All right, so let's get this turned on, and let me put this over here, okay? And we're gonna get some measurements of this, okay? So let me bring this camera up. Give me a second. Oops. Of course, I hit everything and everything moves. All right, so this is the measurement. Let me take it. About 48 over here, right around this area. A little bit warm. Okay, let's do the underside. Feels a little warm, not too bad. about 44 over here. So here's the fan, right? Here's the fan, about 44 over there. Little warm over here. Not bad at all. Not bad at all. Okay. So where the heating vent is, it gets around 53. And that makes sense. That's where the heat is coming out of, or the hot air is blowing out over here. Okay. And then on this side where it's plugged in, let's see what the deal is. So about 52 around where it's plugged in. All right, that's the temperatures. Not too bad. Doesn't get overly hot on the keyboard. Now, where you're going to be placing your fingers are going to be in this area. This was the area a little bit of concern, about 48. Nothing too terrible, but for the most part, pretty good. Pretty good. And again, the heat is dissipating from the side here. So that's where you're going to see a lot of that heat. That's good. That's where you want it. All right, so let's put this away, and let me get out my decibel meter app so we can get a measurement of the noise level. I hear the fan going, and they designed this for productivity, so it's not going to be overly loud, right? That's what I'm anticipating. So it looks like 45, 46 decibels, and this is under load, right? Doing the Cinebench R23. So 45 decibels or so, nothing unusual, and again, the sound of the fans is not annoying. The whirl of the fans is actually pretty low. It's not anything to be too distracting. So pretty good thermals so far. And again, this is just my initial test so far, and we're about to get our result very soon on that multi-core score, okay? So we're going to get that. How's the fan noise so far? Not bad at all, one bad van. Is that long? I don't know what is what long. What laptop are you going to watch the fight today? Big night in Vegas. Yeah, so I don't know. I know there's so much always going on in here in Vegas. I got to look to see who's fighting. Let us know who's fighting, because I went to the fights with my son last year, or a few months ago, I should say, the boxing here. But is there a big MMA fight, I'm assuming, UFC or something? Oh, shut up, Siri. Under 50 is always good. Yeah, no, this is good. Again, productivity, travel laptop, this is what it's geared towards. You don't want loud fans, and you want good battery life. So far, one out of that two is we've already seen. Of course, I do have to do my battery testing, so that, of course, we'll wait on that, because that takes a few days to test. So get all my testing in. We're going to do the PC Mark X Modern Office battery test, the PC Mark X video playback test. We'll even do the gaming test. Not anticipating a lot of longevity on that one. But again, these are not gaming laptops per se, but occasional game here and there, if you lower the settings, is doable. So it's Bud and Spence Jr. are fighting tonight here in Las Vegas. So I'm not going, but I will check out the results when it's all said and done. Boxing. Yeah, so I went with my son. We went here to the MGM arena here in Las Vegas and had a great time. There was like 8 cards, 8 fights on that card, and it was very, very good. We had a fun time. Do you notice any screen wobble when typing? Are the hinges strong enough? That's a good question. Let's take a look. Well, you know what? This is really good, all right? Doesn't look like it's going to move all that much. These look like pretty good hinges. And by the way, 180 degrees, as you see there. For spec ops in the desert, no good, but in office is special. Well, yeah, it is kind of warm in here. Just keep that in mind. All right, so we might be seeing some throttling here. Let's take a look. So 5620, right? So again, I don't have any of the updates done, and it could be a little bit warm in here because we're in Las Vegas. It's 115 out there. Trying to keep cool in here. 5620. All right. That's a little low, but I think it has to do with maybe it's throttling down because of how hot it is in the studio. Could be. We're going to test that all, my friends. Let's do the single core, and then we'll move on from there. So it could be throttling down just simply because it's hot in here. So that makes a lot of sense in some ways. Again, I didn't update any drivers. Just keep that in mind. I'll rerun all these tests. I'll do the full test. I'll do the 10-minute throttling test that it has on the Cinebench R23. So we'll see. P series, not U series, will be hot. So far, they kept it pretty cool. Let me see the underside here. Like I said, I didn't see anything too hot. No, nothing too hot here. So that's a good sign. But again, at what expense, right? 5680, is it throttling? It's probably throttling right now. And again, I'll have to do my time spy stress test to see if there's throttling detected. My guess, it will throttle. Usually the deal is with these thin and light ultras, ultrabooks, you're getting throttling, and it just makes sense, right? You're packing a P-series processor under the hood. Why they didn't do U-series on this one, as far as this review unit, I'm not sure. I know they sent over the U-series on the X1 Carbon Gen 11 that I have here, and that did very well. I think that was the right choice, the right processor for that frame. This is an even smaller frame, but yet they're putting the P-series back in it. So that's pretty interesting. As far as pricing or anything, what is the price and specs? I already showed you the specs. There's a link over Lenovo's website. I think it's on sale right now. I think starts around $1,500 or so, or $1,300, and goes up from there. You can see the specs here. I'll put them on the screen while we're waiting. Here you can see the specs. Starting price even better, $1,217.30. Of course, as configured here, it's going to be more money, as we'll get that price in a moment, but you can see it here. And price as tested, $1,572.20. Not a bad price. Last time I checked, it was this price. So again, one thing you need to keep in mind, these prices do fluctuate. So just check the link for the latest pricing because they do fluctuate, and you don't want to miss a good deal when they happen. Sometimes they happen fast. They sell out. So you just want to make sure you're on top of things. What's my personal laptops I carry? Well, I vary them, especially if it's a trip. Like if I'm doing a business trip, I might throw this, the Nano in the bag, the previous one, or now this one. Or I might take the X1 Carbon, or I might take the 9440, the Dell Latitude, or my MacBook Pro 14. So there are a lot of things I do rotate. I also love the XPS 13 Plus for travel. The 15 I use more around the house. The Dell XPS 15 and the 17 I use around more of the house and my studio. That's pretty much how I do it. I have a Mac Studio with the M1 Max here as well. That's what I'm live streaming on here at my desk here at the studio. But again, I vary them, Brian. I definitely rotate them. And again, I'm testing all the time. According to Drashal, would this have been more perfect with AMD? But yeah, ThinkPad X13 and Z13 AMD do exist. And I'm hoping to get those refresh versions in very soon. So stay tuned. And I want to welcome Mr. Rainbow Loves Coffee to the gold level membership. All right, let's give it for Mr. Rainbow Loves Coffee. So he's now a gold member, so helping us on a monthly basis. There are 3 tiers. You can go check out the join button in the link below. It certainly helps out the channel. That certainly helps, of course. It goes without saying. And you've been a great supporter of the channel. I do appreciate it. All right, so we have a new member, and we have this running the single core score here. So let me take off these specs and those for the wondering. Again, I showed them earlier. You could always pause it. And again, there's a link in the description below. Now, we're almost done here with this single core score. So that 5620 tells me it's throttling down. Obviously, on a 1360p, we want to be in the double digits or at least 8500 or above. That's a little bit low. I suspect it's because I've got all these studio lights heating things up here. I've got the AC going full blast, but that's, 115 degrees out there. It's working overtime. So there you go. Appreciate that. All right. as we have about 60 of you watching. Good to see everybody. And I also did, and for those didn't know, I did release my video on the HP Dragonfly G4. It's doing very well. I called it the perfect travel laptop. I put a question mark, of course, but check out the review. See how much I liked it. Spoiler alert, I did like it a lot. It's been one of my favorites. You know, I am a big fan of that Dragonfly line. They really know how to nail all the right features for that segment of the audience, that's for sure. Okay, this of course went black because of the screensaver. I have to turn that off. All right. So again, Wayne, like I said earlier, P versus U series, you know, that's going to be the debate. You know, would I have put a U series in it? Probably, for this type of device, but they wanted to maximize performance, I suppose. So, you know, and the interesting thing, as I mentioned earlier, the X1 Carbon Gen 11 that they sent over had the U series. You would think it would be the opposite. And I think, by the way, that was the right choice, judging by the results, judging by the final benchmarks that I was able to run on that. You know, that was a really, really good one. So if you didn't see that review, check it out. It's over on my channel. That one's doing very well. And here, I think it's doing stuff in the background. So this is telling me, see how it's going in and out, and it'll come back on in a moment. So that's probably why we got that score we did on the multi-core. That's why I don't like running these. One of the reasons I give you a disclaimer saying these are not the actual scores that we're going to see when it's all updated. Everything, all the drivers are updated, all the Windows updates, the firmware updates. We're going to get the true numbers. So that 5620 is not the true number. I can tell you that right off the bat. What are you going to do when the hot weather comes? If it gets any worse, William, I'm going to find you wherever you are. I think you're in California, you said, so I'll find you and I'll move in. I'll put my studio where you are. Hopefully it's cooler there. Maybe it's not. I don't know. All I know is we're boiling here in Las Vegas and we need some relief. So hopefully that heat will break at some point. Who knows? Things are just so crazy right now. All right. So few stickers is a plus for Lenovo. Yeah, some of these other brands, Asus, you know you are, load them up with stickers. The Lenovo Yoga brand, the Slim brand, yeah, those are loaded up with stickers. These are just two simple stickers, Core i7 from Intel and the Iris Xe graphics, and that's it. Those are your stickers. All right, so far, thin and light. I mean, this thing is like ultra portable here. I mean, this thing is ridiculous. I mean, this how light this is. Again, carbon fiber magnesium combo here. Hi, Andrew. Great show. As always, I'm a big fan of the show from Montreal. I'll be there, by the way. Mad Row House. I'm going to be in Montreal in a couple of weeks and visiting some friends. I own the Nano first gen, wondering about the new CPU, GPU performance, if it would be worth upgrading. From the first gen, yes, I think that one was not as good as a performer as the Gen 2. So here we have the Gen 3, of course. Did I say Gen 4 earlier? Because I'm getting confused with the HP, with the Dragonfly. This is the Gen 3, right? So if I said Gen 4, that was I had Dragonfly on the brain. So is it worth upgrading? I think for the CPU, yes, because they used that. That was the lower version, if I remember. It wasn't the full U series that we saw. I think it was the 30 version, right? Or instead of 35 or whatever the end thing is supposed to be. That one didn't have quite as much power performance. This one will have more. So maybe it might be worth upgrading. Maybe you can get last year's on sale. We'll see what the final numbers are when we compare the two. Physically, it's the same as last year. I didn't see much change, if at all, when I showed you earlier the comparison. So it's really hot in Tel Aviv. 34 feels like 90 Fahrenheit. 34 would be a cool day here in Las Vegas right now when we're looking at 46C, right? 115 degrees Fahrenheit. So yeah, that would be a nice cool day as you have in Tel Aviv. So that's interesting. A great review is very exhaustive about Lenovo. It's impressive, although I shouldn't say it. Dell, however, is in a class by itself. So Robert, that's a big debate, right? So one of my favorites, as I reviewed, of course, this year so far has been the the Dell Latitude 9440 2-in-1 with the zero lattice keyboard with the collaboration haptic touchpad. I love it, loving that device, by the way. That's a competitor, I think, more for the X1 Carbon Gen 11 or the X1 Yoga Gen 8. Those, I think, compete directly. This would compete more on the line of the Latitude 7440 Ultralight that I just did. Both extremely portable, thin and light devices. Here in India, it's 33. Oh, wow. One thing Las Vegas doesn't have is the humidity, but when people say, oh, yeah, but it's 120 degrees, but it's not humid. I don't care where you are. 120 degrees is 120 degrees, and you'll melt, literally. So there you go. I feel sorry for me in Poland at the moment, 22 degrees. 22 would be a very nice welcome here in Las Vegas, that's for sure. All right, so we're waiting on this final run here on this Geekbench, Cinebench rather, I should say, R23 single core, and looking good so far. You can see I'm a little bit sweaty. Again, I have studio lights pointed at me. A little different angle here. We have our Lenovo mug, although I do have an Alienware shirt on. We'll talk more about that soon as I have the X16 coming. So for those that are wondering, gaming, I am doing those. Oh, yes, it's humid here because it's just raining a little bit a while back. So not humid here in Las Vegas. It doesn't rain very often, although it did rain last week. Much needed rain, of course, as we have a drought. But as far as humidity, not so much here. Florida, very humid. New York, very humid. East Coast. But down over here in the Southwest, we're in Las Vegas, where it's very, very dry. It's a desert, literally. And winters, we have pretty cool winters as well. So very interesting. 9 months out of the year, it's great here. 3 months out of the year, it's brutal. And right now, we're in that really brutal period. 22C in London. Oh, missed my days in London. I studied at University College London for a semester. So I used to have fond memories. I still have fond memories of that. Is the water in your pool boiling? In fact, yes, it is pretty warm. We don't need to heat it, that's for sure. But I will take a jump in the pool when we're done. So that might be a good idea to cool down. And I have a rugged laptop I'm going to be reviewing that I'm going to be throwing around off my roof. I'm going to be running it over with the car. I'm going to be dropping it in my pool. So it's going to be pretty interesting. And I'm going to get all my frustration out because I'm very angry. I'm an angry person, as you know. And I'm going to be able to take my frustration out of it to show you how rugged it is. We'll see. It's very good. The Latitude rugged line from Dell's sending me something. Does the Best Buy ever restock? Oh, Yoga Book 9i went out of stock, even open box, and I'm devastated. So, William, I know I share your frustration. So the Yoga 9i, the Yoga Book 9i, let me bring it out. I've been loving it. I don't mean to make you upset, but, you know, I have to show this. Oops. So everything's done. So here it is. And I've been loving this. If I can find the power button. I always forget where it is. Oh, yeah. It's an unfortunate place over here. So this thing has been pretty awesome. So this has been sold out, right? I think I sold them out through my affiliate link with Best Buy because this has been pretty amazing. Now, I have the keyboard back there. I have the physical keyboard. And what did I study? International law, Martino. International law. In fact, I got invited to the Inns of Court because one of the, I think you have to be a member of parliament to get invited, and we were fortunate enough to be invited, and we had sherry and wine, I guess, as a cocktail hour, and we also got to sit at the Queen Elizabeth's table from way back when, and we had lunch. We didn't find out till after, so there you go. All right, how many cameras do I use to get the different angles you share? So Nessa, I have, let's see, this is camera 1. This is my Blackmagic Pocket Cinema 6K Pro. Camera 2 is my new camera. It's the Sony FX30 cinematic camera. Camera 3 is my Sony A6400 for close-ups. Camera 4 is my Blackmagic Pocket Cinema 4K for the side angle. Camera 5 is my Sony A7 III, which I use as a top-down. Camera 6 is the HDMI connected to my HDMI out, so you can see what I'm doing on the screen. Camera 7 is my Sony A7 IV. This is my main camera for B-roll and stuff like that you see in my videos. So this is the A7 IV, and that's it. So I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, Um, 6 cameras actually I've got going. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, I've got 6 cameras. It's totally overkill. I don't recommend anybody using 6 cameras for their live stream, but that's the way it just turned out that way. I have an addiction. What can I tell you? I have a tech addiction. I have a camera addiction. All right. So getting back to this is the Yoga Book 9i. And again, it's sold out. But keep your eye on those links. They do restock them. Same thing for the Lenovo Tab Extreme that I recently did. Those sell out like hotcakes. But this one sold out really fast. $2,000, but I got to tell you, it is absolutely worth it with these 2 displays. I've been loving this, and this thing has been awesome. All right, so, and by the way, this display is very good on this Nano. Very nice. So size-wise, you can see they're not too dissimilar here. You can see they're actually pretty good. Although it is a little cumbersome to travel with this because of the keyboard, which I have off camera here in the pen and everything, that little folio case it has. But the sound on this has been very good with the sound bar. It's been really good. It's always been humid and hot in India, yeah, from what I hear. B-roll, what about egg rolls? Egg rolls are for lunch, my friend, Mr. Rainbow Loves Coffee. Egg rolls are for lunch. That sounds like a good idea, actually. So there you have it. So when does Best Buy tend to restock stuff like that? It's just, that's on Lenovo, right? To supply it to Best Buy. They are very hard to keep in stock. I know a lot of people, and judging by the amount, people were liking it. They sold out. I was part of that campaign that helped launch this through Best Buy. And that sold out within hours. And then they restocked, it sold out. So they're always getting new stock. So you just have to keep checking the links in the description below. You just have to keep checking. But again, having the 2 displays is really good. So if I want, I forget how to, if I want to do that. So if I go here, right, and I want to cascade this. So let's say I want to go to YouTube or something. Let's go to, wrong one. Let's go to, just say I want to cascade this, right? So I click that and boom, I can go, you can see how my videos are doing. This is all part of the analytics. There's a piece of lint there. Okay, look at that. I can cascade. And again, it could keep going if there was more down there. But here's the video right now that I'm doing right now live. You can see the Dragonfly is doing well. So again, I love that feature. And then here's the floating touchpad. See, I can do the floating touchpad, but that's pretty interesting, right? And then if I want to bring in the keyboard, boom. So this is a consumer level, I guess. This is their business level. And we're almost done, by the way, with that test. If it's still going, doesn't look like it's doing anything. It might have crashed. Again, I was updating. So let's, I don't know what's going on with that. I'll have to run this, I guess, when we're done. Yeah, that looked like it crashed. Well, maybe not. Let's see. But it's not doing anything. So let me stop this. I'll when everything's loaded in, we'll run it. I'll do it in the full review. All right. So let's test the SSD. We don't need to. This was a really, really great device. So hopefully they'll get it back in stock soon. Let me put it off camera here. Yeah, not cheap at $2,000, but you are getting 2 displays and pretty unique. Do you think Lenovo made, according to Nessa, do you think Lenovo made a limited number of yoga books to see how well it would sell before releasing them, just in case they didn't sell well? That could very well be the case, Nessa, because they didn't want to make a whole bunch of them and just be stuck with the stock, right? So they're making them as needed, I guess. I'll reach out to Lenovo and let's see what they have to say, but we'll see. Hopefully, William, just keep checking. Just keep checking, and eventually they'll restock. If they're selling out, I can guarantee you Lenovo's going to, if they can make more, they will make more. That's why they're in business. What graphic card? As far as this, we're looking at XE graphics. There's no dedicated graphics. Where are you going to put it in such a thin and light device, if you think about it? So this would be kind of ridiculous, right? So 180-degree hinge goes back like that. Pretty nice. So when we're typing, very little screen wobble here. I don't want to activate anything, but you can see what I'm talking about. See what I'm typing. Basically no movement. That's pretty good. All right, let's test the SSD here, and then we'll test the camera, and then we'll test the sound maybe, and then we'll call it a day. Let's see. All right, so let me go to my downloads. Let me go to this one. You can see what I'm doing. And let's go here. Let's extract that. Boom. And yes, thank you. I appreciate that. Link to my mobile channel. I will have the Z Flip 5 coming. I have the Tab S9 Ultra, which I will be putting against the Lenovo Tab Extreme. We're going to go head to head on those. So for those interested between those two behemoth tablets, though, that comparison will be coming next. Hopefully, I'll get it next week or whenever the 11th is, a couple of weeks at the latest. All right. All right. So let me load this. How are we doing on the stream right now? I see we have about 62 of you, so pretty good. All right, let's see. So we have a 512 gigabyte SSD. Let's run it. Hopefully Gen 4 speeds. We'll see. We've been live streaming for just an hour. We just passed the hour mark. Wow. So it looks like 4,000. So it's going to be not quite as fast as some of the others, but again, I don't know what size SSD they're using. I suspect a 2230, the really small one. So for that end, it would be very good if it's a 2230, which I believe it is. So that's a good score for that. If it was the larger 2280 SSD, of course, we would want to see 7,000 reads. So that's just keep that in mind. All right, so that is good. I'm sweating, you see? Wow. It's still hot in here, even though I have the AC cranked down, it's working overtime down here with these lights, studio lights. Good to see everybody. We are now an hour in, and we have 63 of you watching. Good to see you. All right, so getting back to this. Is it 2242? Okay, so I wasn't sure if it was 2230 or 2242. So it is 2242. Okay. Again, the smaller ones. And that would make sense with that 4,000 score. Okay, thank you. So it's a 2242. Makes sense. From the base configuration, 1 terabyte is $400. So that's a premium on top of that. Again, you could always add that yourself. I have the Lenovo X13S, but your review on the HP Dragonfly G4 was great. Thank you, Kalandra. Thinking about upgrading to the HP because I wouldn't need a dongle for traveling when making presentations. Yeah, that's one of the things here that you're going to have a problem with. And one of the cons is that you only have the two Thunderbolt 4 ports here. No USB-A, no HDMI, no, yeah, that's a big deal for some people, right? So that's why some people look at the X1 Carbon Gen 11, a little bit bigger, a little bit heavier, not much, but with those ports, right? And then, of course, if you look at the Dragonfly that I just did, I released it yesterday, it's on my channel. The Dragonfly G4 has a drop-jaw USB-A port on the right side. You get, I believe on that one, you get the Thunderbolt 4 ports. And again, you wouldn't have to do a dongle on those. You get the headphone jack as well. So you have here some cool water would be nice, John Max. Would be nice. Try to keep cool. Trying. Sweating here. We're going to be done soon anyway. How much is it? Illuminations, check the link. I think it starts at around $12.75 right now. Again, prices fluctuate. And prices tested, I think about $1,500 is what I showed. Again, just check the link. All right. So looking like it's a pretty good 2242 SSD. All right, the little smaller one. All right, so that's what we're looking at right here. And then, of course, the 2242 it takes up less space. I don't think we're going to open it up. I don't think we need to open it up. I think it's going to be the same as last year as far as internally. And again, physically, these are pretty much the same. All right, so now having said that, we're waiting for these final results here. But again, I can see the sequential read and write has been very good. 4,000 on the reads, 3,517 on the writes. That's a pretty good score. All right, so now we're going to do this. We'll check out the camera next, and then maybe we'll get a a sound test just to see how the speakers are and round it all out. As we have 60 of you watching, again, the video on the HP Dragonfly G4 is doing well. How bright can the display get for viewing outside? So they're claiming 450 nits. I will have to do the testing, but peak brightness of 450 nits according to Lenovo. And this test is just about done. So outdoor brightness should be good. Now, this is not too glossy, right? So if you look at it, you can see some of the studio lights I have here, but not too bad when it comes to gloss. You can see it a little bit there, but not bad. Not bad at all, actually. All right, let's see. And again, I love the way these hinges are because you're not seeing too much screen wobble. All right, let me take a screenshot of this. This is our result. All right, pretty nice for a 2242 SSD, 512 gigabytes. All right, so let me check out the camera here. This should be an IR camera. Let me go to camera. So, and say yes. Okay, so this is the camera here. Let me maximize that. You can look at it over here. Looks pretty nice right off the bat. Let me go to the video settings. And this is 1080p. So this is a 1080p camera. And let's go to the Lenovo Vantage for a second because I want to see if we can control any of the settings for the camera on the device itself. So let's go to display and camera. And there's the camera. So I have to turn off the windows. Let me just close that for now and see what this is going to allow us to do. So this is very basic. I don't see anything that can do the background blur or do any of the auto framing and all that. Oh, here's auto exposure, auto brightness. You have that stuff. You can control the brightness and contrast and the auto exposure, but I don't see any of the other studio effects. So that could be just this one. I don't know. I'll have to investigate it more, but that's the display and camera. And then if I put back the camera here, you can see here looking pretty good. So I think this is a good implementation. Certainly is an IR camera, so you can log in with face recognition. This will have, I think, the walk-away presence detection, I believe, security features. Again, I'll have to investigate it. We just took it out of the box, but pretty good. Jenny Levin became Jenny Levin in the subtitles. Yeah, so Jenny Levin is a woman that lives down the street. I'm talking about the Jenny Levin from Lenovo in their ThinkPad line, the bigger brother to this one. All right. So this is the camera. It looks pretty good. And you can see it here off camera. There you go. Looks pretty good. Looks pretty good. All right. So now we're going to do let's do a sound test. Let me unhook this. And let me load in Epidemic Sound here. So let me load Epidemic Sound. We'll get a quick sound test going here. Okay, let me log in. Give me a second. And I put it on this new angle here. So let me know how you like it. Just trying different things here. That egg roll sounds good, Mr. Rainbow Loves Coffee. Now I want Chinese food. All right, so here we have our sound. All right, let me load in the microphone like we normally do, and let's get a sound test. Let me bring the volume up here, and let's try the first track here. Never Meant to Be by Gloria Tells. So let's switch microphones and let's get a sound test. Let me see the Dolby. This says it has Dolby Atmos. Let me make sure which setting we're on. So I like to put it on dynamic, but there are some different settings you can play with. Let's skip that. Forgot about that. This does have Dolby Atmos. All right, right now it's on music, but let's put it on dynamic, and then let's play that again. All right, we could play around a little bit with it. All right, so let me get back to it. would say it's good. I don't know if this has quad speakers. I see the two grills up here. Does anybody know if this has, I don't remember if it has quad speakers or not. I think it sounds good for an ultra portable that's barely 2 pounds or so. Pretty good. Lower sound pressure, but wider sound nice. So I think what we're seeing here is a pretty nice sound on this, although I don't think it competes with the MacBook Pro 14, although this is a lot lighter than that device, or the MacBook Air, which might be a better sounding device, I think. But it sounds good, according to Rainbow Loves Code. I think it sounded good as well, especially for such a thin and light device, not something you normally would see. So that is a pretty good sound here. So let me know what you think. Again, I'll do more testing, of course, on all this in the upcoming review. But that is the sound. Hey, love your vids. Wouldn't it be better to always have the same songs playing for the sound test on every laptop? Or are you already doing that? I'm already doing that. I use Never Meant to Be by Gloria Tells. I have about 4 or 5 songs. I vary because it gets boring for me after a while, although I think they're very talented artists over at Epidemic Sound. So if you didn't check it out, go. I think there should be a link in there. But yeah, it's been pretty good. And as far as the overall sound, I think it was pretty good for a ultra portable. We'll have more to say on that very soon. Okay, so my overall takeaway has been that the Lenovo the ThinkPad X1 car. Here, I'm really getting tired and I'm hot. The ThinkPad X1 Nano Gen 3 is looking like a really nice laptop. Now, I think we saw that result on the Cinebench R23 as a result of some of the background updates happening, taking away some of that performance, messing that up a little bit. I will do my full thermal throttling test, of course. I will do that in the Cinebench R23. I will test for thermal throttling with the TimeSpy stress test. I have a lot more to do on this, so it's coming very soon. I want to thank the moderators for doing such a good job. I think we're going to wrap it up now as we have 46 of you. So a lot more to come. Plenty of devices here. We have so much to come, so make sure you are subscribed to the channel. Let me cue the music, and we'll get ready to rock and roll for some more videos this week, so make sure you are subscribed. So until next time, everybody, I will see you in the next video. Take care, and have a great rest of your day. If you're in any heat waves, such as we are here in Las Vegas, try to stay cool. Until next time, I'll see you in the next video. Take care, everybody. Bye-bye.